All right. Hello, everyone, and now welcome to a game. This game is going to be between Hitman and NightEnD, and I just realized that the player positions are wrong, so let me go ahead and fix that. And yeah, my wife and family are like, "Wait, are you casting what you're doing?" Right? And I'm like, "Yeah, that's exactly what I did right there. I just cast out loud what I was doing because sometimes things are just a stream of consciousness." Alright, NightEnD spawning as the yellow undead over here on the bottom right hand side of Tide Hunters. Meanwhile, Hitman spawning under the name Ethereal as the red Night Elf. Night Elf versus Undead should be a interesting game and interesting matchup. Both of these players I would call semi-pro. Um, and that is no like a big hit on any of them, but I consider them much better than me. They're semi-pro, but in that they're probably not going to be invited to fly around the world to participate in LAN tournaments. They may be invited, but they're not going to be paid for as some of the other bigger players out of China, and then of course the Emperor. Anyways, let's go ahead and break things down in this 1v1 matchup. Death Knight gonna go ahead and get trained up here. We're looking at ghouls coming in right behind it, and well, from here, well, anything can happen. Undead is one of those races where it feels like every a lot of it is just cruxed onto that slaughterhouse. And for me, it does there's not enough tension in the Sim City part of Warcraft 3 for Undead, right? Base building, a lot of players had made comments about well, base building being a very, very important part of a real-time strategy game, and that's one of the reasons why they didn't like Battle Aces, or didn't like some of the other games that have been coming out. But Undead, it feels like get to tier 2, get to Slaughterhouse. That is always a must, right? That is at least what you will be doing the majority of the time. You want access to obsidian statues. If you need to go Necromancer Meat Wagon, you also need that Slaughterhouse. If you want to get big tanky units, well, you need Abominations, which is also that Slaughterhouse. And if you want, very powerful magic attacking air units, well, you need the Slaughterhouse. So it's been a gripe for me. Just because it makes Undead feel very, very stationary and very stagnant in terms of the SimCity aspect and the building portion of the aspect. Still, Undead, a very difficult race to play, a lot to do, a lot going on, but at the same time, I like being able to see and predict as a commentator the strategy. I want to be able to take a quick glance at the base and go like, okay, he has these buildings. Um, what is he gonna try and do next, right? Meanwhile, Night Elf, most likely going to be going for Ancient of Lores, but there is also the chance of Ancient of Winds, Ancient of Wind, and with the introduction of the glaive giving heavy armor to Huntresses, mass Huntresses has also become a much more prominent strategy. However, Ancient of Lore, perhaps the big, more obvious choice as well. So if you're looking to learn, look at their build orders, look at their timings, and look at their strategies, and it's just practice. Warcraft 3, one of those games where you probably feel like you could always just learn a little bit more. Oh, that little crab getting shot down there, little creep, as the Death Knight going after now this giant sea turtle. So NightEnD and Hitman, both just playing relatively close to home, playing close to the vest type of thing. They're not venturing forward. They're not trying to harass. And we now already see a level 3 Death Knight, or sorry, level 3 Demon Hunter going up against a level 2 Death Knight. They may continue to try and creep out a little bit further here, and we're going to see the Skeletal Orc try to dive on in here. Stormreaver Hermit, Stormreaver Apprentice, both going to get taken out first. Meanwhile, the Demon Hunter is looking for that Death Knight, trying to figure out where his opponent is creeping, and Hitman is going to take a little bit of time to actually find it here. All right. There's a mana burn onto the Death Knight, and that is a big mana burn right there. Big hit, getting the last hit right there, and now the Death Knight sitting at level 1 may be able to go after a Crypt Fiend. Crypt Fiend about to get taken down. There goes a final shot, and that is going to be a big loss there. Losing a Crypt Fiend this early. Hitman doing a great job preventing the Death Knight from being able to get off those death coils. There are a number of skeletal minions out here onto the battlefield too, but they're quickly going to get shadow melted as well as the Death Knight tries to retreat back. We are at Halls of the Dead, and now Lich is about to come online. There is that Slaughterhouse, and now there's that tech to tier 3. All right, tension for undead players trying to quickly get to tier 3. At the tier 2 point, you feel like you want to do everything, which is train up your Lich, get a Slaughterhouse, and a tech to tier 3. Well, most undead players know, well, it's a choose 2. Here are your 3 options. Choose 2. And, well, one will often be delayed, right? We've seen Lich be delayed in order to get have the Lich trained up right as you're at tier 3 so that you can purchase that Orb of Corruption. There's those timings as well. But, well, Undead is known to snowball very, very effectively as we are looking at the Huntresses. Are we going to get the Blessing? Oh, yep, there is the upgraded Moonglaive. That's going to be giving heavy armor here, which will protect against those Crypt Fiends quite a bit. Oh, final arrow, not able to get the job done. Demon Hunter now coming back around and, well, going to go after this little guy right here. All right, waiting for the armor type to change. There you are. There is that little glow as well. You can see their upgraded Moonglaives, upgraded glaives, well, shimmering here in the moon, and they have a little bit of additional bounce as well, so a little bit of damage, but more importantly, getting more armor. Yeah, as we're looking at this Nightcrawler getting taken out here. All right, a little bit of bounce damage going all the way around the horn, so to speak, as the Demon Hunter gets up onto the high ground, and, well, perhaps going to try and aggro things here. NightEnd's Skeletal Warrior is going to get taken down. Yep, it will. Level 2, level 1. Lich doesn't have the Orb of Corruption. We are not yet at tier 3. We are getting up a second Obsidian statue, and this is generally where Undead starts to hit their stride. They're able to do quite a bit of damage. You can see that Frost Nova really putting pressure on that Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter, after getting those initial bursts of Death Coil, Frost Novas could have a little bit of a bad day. Lich should be hanging back here, try to grab that Orb of Corruption. It is about to be done. And nope, not going to be doing it. Death Knight now venturing forward instead. And is it going to go for Dark Ranger as the third and final hero? I do believe so. No, Naga Sea Witch. All right, so Naga Sea Witch as the third and final hero. Cold Arrows to pick off slow-moving units, then coupled with Fork Lightning to add to that burst damage. The only downside, Death Knight's Death Coil does not heal that Naga Sea Witch, so that could become, quote-unquote, the weakest link. Death Knight is going to try and burst heal that Lich. It does not appear to be so. Demon Hunter going to come around the corner. Are we going to see some mana burns now? There's a mana burn onto the Naga Sea Witch. Demon Hunter now looking to back away. Death Coil, Frost Nova, nope. Not landing on the Demon Hunter there. Still no Orb of Corruption. A little bit surprised by that. We are getting up that Destroyer upgrade. We are at Tree of Ages, nearly at Tree of Eternity, and we are looking at Druids of the Claw, perhaps also eventually getting into Mountain Giants as Druids of the Claw. Well, a little bit of a liability if your opponent does have some Obsidian statues already out on the battlefield. Death Coil, Frost Nova onto that Demon Hunter, forcing him to retreat back. You saw that sudden burst damage right there. Death Knight does have that Ring of Regeneration. Very important to be able to regenerate some of that damage. Lich still without the Orb of Corruption. And, well, NightEnd perhaps waiting to get to 50 over 50 supply first before going shopping at that Tomb of Relics. All right, Naga Sea Witch about to get to level 2. Lich comfortably at level 2. Death Knight comfortably at level 3. Going after perhaps one of the easiest red creep camps I've ever seen in my years of casting Warcraft 3. A couple of Marauders here. They're going to get focused down. And now a couple of Snare Casters behind it. Healing Wards dropped. Slow getting cast down here as well. Destroyers could, well, transform and then devour that slow if necessary, as the last Snare Caster taken out here. Dryads now coming across the fight. There is another Mana Burn, Cold Arrows, Frost Nova, Lich still only sitting at level 2. Are we going to see another Mana Burn? Oh, there's another Mana Burn again. Quite a bit of damage as the Demon Hunter did pick up a Pure of Vitality. That is incredibly important. There's another Mana Burn here, and now finally a Staff of Preservation. Oh, wow. So the Demon Hunter getting 3 mana burns off, taking 300 mana from the Death Knight, the Lich, and that Naga Sea Witch. And eventually, it is going to bounce back here, but NightEnD is going to benefit by being able to clear out another relatively difficult creep camp, picking up a 1 of mana stealing. All right, Dryad's going to try to come back across here. There's another mana burn onto the Lich. This may be the mana burn game here, as the Giant Sea Turtle about to get taken down. It does get taken down. Scroll of Town Portal backs away. Naga Sea Witch will get to level 4. Demon Hunter staying at level 3. Orb of Corruption still not yet purchased. All right, there we go. Orb of Corruption finally purchased, finally picked up. Oh, Boulder! Lich down to sub 100 hit points. That's always a bit dangerous. Demon Hunter says, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and mana burn again. And this game may become the mana burn game here, as Demon Hunter also turning on Immolation. So turning on the burners there. There's another mana burn again. And the Lich could be in some big trouble. Down to 140 hit points. Fork Lightning finishing it off. And Hitman doing a great job trying to shut things down. We could see another... Oh! Death Coil onto the Destroyer in the time. Destroyer trying to back away. Orb of Venom from the Demon Hunter. Is it going to get enough damage? No, it is not. I thought for a moment the Demon Hunter was going to try to mana burn it down, that Obsidian statue, only to see it transform into a Destroyer. Rock Golem going to get finished off. That gets taken down, and Devotion Aura now picked up perhaps by this Naga Sea Witch. If it can get to it, where's the Devotion Aura? It's still on the ground here. Death Coil onto the Destroyer. Both sides fighting. There's Fork Lightning, and now Healing Ward placed down by NightEnD to try and keep these units alive and well. All right, Naga Sea Witch does pick up the Devotion Aura. That is a big deal here. Druid of the Claw now retreating back under the cover of the Demon Hunter's Orb of Venom. All right, big fights, big deals here. Healing Ward continuing to heal back up all of these units. Obsidian Statues should most likely not be providing Essence of Blight right now. No real need for it while you are under the effects of the Healing Ward. Try to keep your mana in those Obsidian Statues for later. Low hit point Obsidian Statues just naturally get converted into Destroyers, as mana is difficult to accumulate on Obsidian Statues, as any undead player will tell you. Off to the north, Tree of Life Hitman is expanding here. Meanwhile, Alchemist picks up an Orb of Venom. That's actually a little bit funny. The Orb of Venom, the Alchemist can already attack air, so it's not just to be able to attack air. It has a ranged air attack to begin with, but that additional damage over time, perhaps key and the reason why. All right, Lich will get to level 3. Obsidian Statue, there's some healing wards being placed down as well. Looking at some damage. Lich now finally at level 3. Naga Sea Witch could get to level 3 as well. So suddenly the power shift could be inbound if this Granite Golem falls to the undead. All right, Dryads, Goblin Alchemist. We're going to see some Acid Bomb now going down. Oh, interesting. Okay, Acid Bomb is one of the only damage over times that can actually kill a unit. So by combining Acid Bomb with Orb of Venom, you can tick down unit hit points and then throw Acid Bomb and then allow the Acid Bomb to finish the job. I don't know how many times we've seen units get down to 2 hit points because of Orb of Venom stacked across 3 heroes, but not getting finished off at the very last moment. All right, Demon Hunter. All right, what is going on here? Mana Burn, Staff of Preservation for the save. Granite Golem. Are we going to see the level up? Who got the experience? Naga Sea. It looked like the Naga Sea Witch got it. Alchemist got the experience, as the Naga Sea Witch still staying at level 2 after all this time. Yeah, Death Knight didn't gain experience there, so that last bit of experience going to Hitman a very big deal. Both sides still, still trying to recoup here. Hitman needs to entangle this gold mine. Oh, the Tree of Life was a little bit too far and couldn't actually see the gold mine. Oh, can he entangle now? Oh, yeah, finally able to entangle that gold mine. All right, so the Tree of Life was like a pixel too far and couldn't actually see that gold mine due to nighttime. All right. Demon Hunter. Staff of Preservation saves another unit. 65 supply compared to 68. Druid of the Claw out here on the battlefield. Perhaps going to get some more rejuvenations off. Trying to stay in Druid form as long as they can. Remember, Druids of the Claw do not regenerate mana very well while they are in that Druid... actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, okay. I always assumed that was the case because I read it somewhere and read it on the Blizzard websites, and it felt like that was true, but very rarely do I actually get to prove that that is the case. Oh, nicely done there. Staff of Preservation brings back the Goblin Shredder. All the wisps that were gathering lumber earlier are now in the expansion. So that is one of the benefits there. Naga Sea Witch, we're going to be looking at perhaps a mana burn onto NightEnd's Destroyer, or excuse me, the Obsidian Statue, trying to go after that. Are we going to see a mana burn? There you go, as the Demon Hunter now trying to retreat back here. A little bit of damage over time. The Naga Sea Witch using cold arrows. There's a Fork Lightning. Excuse me. Excuse me again. Using a Fork Lightning to try to burst down, but the Obsidian Statues are just going to be able to repair and heal up all of that mana. Or heal up all of that damage as another Destroyer takes to the skies. 76 supply compared to 70 over 70 right now. But the additional economy of Hitman could be the difference. Where is all of this going to travel, or how is all of this going to go down next? All right, Death Coil, Frost Nova on to that Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter trying to retreat back here. And a Demon Hunter looks like he will be able to fall back. Goblin Alchemist, is he going to, try and throw a little bit of damage? Oh, Druid of the Claw being forced to, get Staff of Preservation back home. Any of those bear... Oh, a beautiful, another Staff of Preservation. So dual Staff of Preservation for the save here. There's another rejuvenation. That Druid of the Claw trying to retreat back. No, he gets taken down. There's that double level up we were expecting earlier, as units are still racking up more damage. 63 supply compared to 73. Even after saving 2 Druids of the Claw, they're coming in back for action, saying, what did I miss? And, 2 very low hit point Druids could get taken down. There goes one. Is another. No. Druid of the Claw. Hitman not releasing them from the main control group. They were brought back into the fight only to, be put in a dangerous situation again and perhaps filling up the experience bars of Undead. Now, here's one of the downsides of Obsidian Statues and having a large number of Destroyers. Destroyers, they end up draining the Obsidian Statues' mana. So professional or a lot of professional players, they'll actually purposely have their Destroyers on a separate control group and move them further away from their standing Obsidian Statues so that the Destroyers, these Obsidian Statues, aren't wasting mana trying to fill up the mana bars of these Destroyers. But right here, perhaps NightEnD has too much going on in his mind right now to keep track of the fact that these Destroyers are slowly taking away mana away from these Obsidian Statues and thereby making forcing more Obsidian Statues to be trained up. Yeah, that's not how you want to be doing this. And Hitman, is he going to be able to take advantage of this situation, having the extra expansion off to the north here, and perhaps delay a little bit further? Hitman knows the longer this game goes, the better it should be for him, since he has the stronger economy. Druids of the Claw all transforming in time. No Staff of Preservation. Fork Lightning going back. That is a lot of Destroyers in the air for NightEnD. Not enough Dryads on the ground. Another bear getting taken down. Destroyers are just eating things up right now. Are we going to see another Staff of Preservation? No, we do not. A Goblin Alchemist trying to finish things off here. And are we going to see some damage damage go down onto some of those destroyers. Yeah, one destroyer finally taken down. 70 supply compared to 54. Demon Hunter, Invo Potion not used. Instead, Staff of Preservation back home. Another Druid of the Cloud taken out. And Hitman, and now down to 50 over 80 supply. Yes, no longer in upkeep, but the problem is that these destroyers, and just the sheer number of destroyers, absolutely own the bear army of Hitman. Hitman's bear army just absolutely melted in a matter of seconds. We are looking at triple orb of venom now. So Naga Sea Witch does have that damage over time effect. So, and the question is it going to be enough? More Dryads could be added, but remember, this is an army of Crypt Fiends and Destroyers. Dryads are not going to bode well either, as the Dryads are going to lose the focus fire from those Crypt Fiends. All right, army continuing to push pressure here. The Destroyers now able to easily finish off Huntresses with their magic damage, while switching, being afraid of Destroyers, or from Crypt Fiends to being afraid of Destroyers. Demon Hunter, gonna get another rejuvenation, and now perhaps gonna try to venture forth. Are we gonna see a Devour Magic? Orb of Venom trying to fight back against the other side again. There's some slow poison as well, and the problem is these Crypt Fiends are just able to focus down the Dryads too quickly. Hitman needs to transition perhaps into Mountain Giants. Mountain Giants with that medium armor, which is resistant to both magic damage and piercing damage, makes their large hit point base feel that much larger, as, well, they do take quite a while to finish off. Demon Hunter going to try to push back the other way. There's another mana burn, a little bit late, unable to fully mana burn that Death Knight. He's able to get the Death Coil off. We're going to see a rejuvenation go down onto the Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter trying to retreat back here. Very low hit point, Druid of the Claw. Cold Arrow followed by a round of attack from the Destroyers, as this one Druid of the Claw could have a very bad day. There's a rejuvenation. There's another Staff of Preservation for the save. And you can see all of these Druids of the Claw trying to hang back here and figure out how to stay alive. 3 upgrades on the Druids of the Claw and the Dryads. Meanwhile, Demon Hunter, is he going to be able to survive here? Taking quite a bit of damage, down to 115, trying to break free, down to 61, and he'll be able to survive once more. 79 supply compared to 70. The additional economy is just not working out well, as the Naga Sea Witch coming back around here. All right, there's a little bit of damage. Dryad's trying to poke off to the north here. There goes a Dryad, level 4 now onto the Naga, or onto the Lich. Death Knight could be in trouble. Death Knight does have a potion of greater healing. There's some healing spray trying to keep up all of these units alive and well, and we do see, Immolation finishing off a Crypt Fiend here. All right, more damage coming back across. There's going to be another death there. Naga Sea Witch now up to level 5, trying to finish off more units. Level 4 now on the other Naga Sea Witch, as damage is just racking up. 62 supply compared to 55. Absolute battle here. Both sides trying to outlast each other. It's a battle of attrition, but Hitman should be able to bounce back better, since he does have that additional expansion. Demon Hunter gets up to level 5, and now going after the Death Knight. Death Knight down to 43 hit points, able to retreat away, and there's that Orb of Venom damage over time, even though he's getting healed up by Obsidian Statues. Demon Hunter down to 280 hit points. There's another Staff of Preservation. Are we going to see some more death and destruction here? Level 3 now, healing spray across all of these units. Demon Hunter down to 70, 50, 45. He gets taken down. Level 5 Demon Hunter falls. Healing spray not enough. Death Coil onto the Naga Sea Witch, and we're still fighting every which way here. Dryads are poking after all of these units. All of the Crypt Fiends are gone. Lich now trying to retreat back here. Are we going to see a Death Coil go down, or perhaps try and save some of these other units as well? Cold Arrow is going to go down onto the Naga Sea, or onto the Death Knight. Death Knight, slow poison plus cold arrows. Is he going to be able to break free here, trying to get that damage? No boots of speed. Death Knight does have a faster movement speed, but trying to shake off all of that cold and slow poison damage, down to 135 hit points. This Obsidian Statue definitely going to get easily taken down here, as the Demon Hunter needs to get resurrected. And, well, there goes that. All right, trying to fight back the other way. We're going to see a rejuvenation, and now go ahead and try and engage slow poison onto the Lich. Lich down to 250 hit points. Orb of Venom, damage over time onto the Destroyer, and still a healing spray trying to keep all of these units alive. All right, Destroyer is going to go after the Naga Sea Witch. Remember, that is not a good exchange. There's just not enough bears now, so NightEnd's army which could counter the Druids of the Claw, is now having a difficult time trying to counter these mass Dryads. Are we going to see it? No, Destroyer down to 3 hit points, able to survive as more units are falling left and right. All right, more engagement. The Alchemist trying to go after that Destroyer, gonna be able to take it down. Level 3.5 still on that Alchemist. Fork Lightning, Death Knight down to 52 hit points. Are we seeing an Acid Bomb? No, Potion of Healing in time to keep that unit alive again as the Naga Sea Witch gets bursted. All right, Frost Nova finishing the job, and well, the undead heroes working together to nuke down units as the Goblin Alchemist now being forced to try and retreat back. Dryads, all right. Oh, Druid of the Claw here. Death Knight, what is going to go down? Death Knight, with that Ring of Regeneration, has really been able to stay alive. Yeah. Keeping that alive and well, often the case. We can see Haunting of the Gold Mine getting set up here. That's been set up for about a minute and a half or two, or well, 500 gold. Yeah, so about a minute or 1,500, so about 2.5 minutes. Demon Hunter, where is the Demon Hunter? Demon Hunter has not been Demon Hunter back there. All right, need to. Demon Hunter back out on the battlefield. So 5-5-3 going up against a 5-4-4. If the Lich and the Naga Sea Witch both level up, I do believe the extra bit of damage from the Frost Nova and that Fork Lightning will be too much to overcome. There are no more creeps on the map, as you can see from the mini-map. So this upcoming battle is a battle to gain momentum. That whoever gains momentum first should be able to follow it up easily. Naga Sea Witch is sitting at level 5 here. We're looking at level 3. Goblin Alchemist does have a Scroll of Healing and also has level 2 Healing Spray. Demon Hunter, Pure Up to Vitality. There's a Mana Burn, Death Coil, Frost Nova heading across. Demon Hunter quickly getting Staff of Preservation back. Moonwells are... Oh! Demon Hunter gets down to the Tree of Eternity down here. That's always a problem when you think you're going to be sending your units back home to safety, only to see them, well, out in the wrong position. Are we going to see a Staff of Preservation? Yes! Last minute Staff of Preservation for the save. Orb of Venom damage onto that Destroyer. That's going to tick slowly over time again and again as this Druid of the Claw now, well, going to walk back off to the north, perhaps transform into a Druid, regenerate some mana, and get back into that game again. Mana Burn, Staff of Preservation. Mana Burn, Staff of Preservation to try and remove the mana from the enemy heroes, remove that burst damage. We're going to see some more rejuvenations as well. This is going to be rejuvenated as well as the Demon Hunter is going to try it again. So rinse and repeat to try and remove mana. That's all this game is. There's another Mana Burn again, removing precious mana, and Hitman is just playing a very annoying style right now as the Naga Sea Witch backs off. All right, Demon Hunter perhaps going to get another rejuvenation and just rinse and repeat the strategy again. Staff of Preservation, and this is mana attrition, right? You are using your Demon Hunter to slowly chip away and remove the advantage, the undead advantage of hero nuking, and NightEnD is realizing that he's kind of getting backed up into a corner right now. Yuna's trying to retreat back here. Death Knight, are we going to go after the Crypt Fiends, or perhaps going to try and Mana Burn again? There's a Mana Burn onto the Death Knight, and that is 2 death coils that have been removed from that Death Knight. Also, the Obsidian statues are being forced to constantly retrain up as we are looking at a lot of Obsidian statues out there on the battlefield. There's a lot of Druids of the Claw as well. We're going to see a Staff of Preservation for the save there. We're going to come back around, and, well, there's a Mana Burn again. Both sides fighting their way through. The Destroyers, do they actually want to pop up? If they pop up, they'll be able to take down this, well, 24 supply of Druids of the Claw, but at the same time, well, at the same time, are we just going to see a transition into more Dryads? Perhaps Hitman needs to start training up some Dryads. Having too many bears could actually come back to haunt him, but it looks like this game could be closing out if the bears could just finish off all of these acolytes down to the south. 2 bases versus 1 right now. NightEnD is backed into a corner, and I believe this is going to be GG. That one Druid of the Claw going to be able to clean up all of those acolytes, and Hitman saying, bring it. let's just bring the battle here. Let's see what you can do, forcing an uncomfortable engagement for NightEnD, even though NightEnD has had the hero level advantage for much of this match. Demon Hunter continuing to battle it here. We're going to be looking at a Haunted Goldmine healing wave, or healing spray now across all of the units again. Demon Hunter, well, unsure of how to really commit in this fight here. Druids of the Claw now making their way back over, and it looks like this Haunted Goldmine will get taken down. And, well, both sides still fighting. NightEnD unsure of how to proceed. We're seeing a little bit of damage onto those Crypt Fiends. All right, perhaps Acid Bomb, Cold Arrows, Demon Hunter, Orb of Venom, NightEnD, well, what was that? Deny, yeah, that was a Dark Ritual right there. Both sides still fighting. There's a reveal. There goes another Burrowed Crypt Fiend, and that is not going to be enough. 39 supply compared to 80. It is going to be the GG. NightEnD, I mentioned it earlier. He needed to get to level 5 on both of these heroes and try to build momentum. Instead, Hitman with some great play. Staff, Mana Burn, Staff of Preservation, rinse and repeat across the Death Knight and that Lich, denying that initial burst damage, preventing level 5 on both the Naga Sea Witch and that Lich was enough. A beautiful endgame annoying tactic by Hitman, but at that point, it was executed so well. Hats off to him, and very frustrating for NightEnD. Let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments below.